In the third part, we will be dealing with research objectives, research methodologies, and data collection methods. So let's try to understand what are research objectives. So these are the objectives or purpose of doing research. So you have a list of specific tasks which your research is trying to accomplish or attain. So you have to quote them under different points. For example, if you are researching on brand equity of a company like Coca-Cola, then your research objectives can be the brand image of the Coca-Cola. So you have to find the brand image of this company, consumer experience of the brand. So you have to find the experience of that particular company, how people have appreciated or liked different parts or different types of product varieties of that particular brand. Next, you have brand awareness among consumers. So that can be another of the research objectives. So in short, it is nothing but identifying the components, studying interrelationships, and establishing some kind of cause and effect situations, or you can also include some suggestions at the end. So you have to find suggestions for your research, so it can be one of the research objectives. Next, you have research methodologies. So these are nothing but the tools and techniques which can be utilized for gathering data from different sources as determined by the researcher. So what you think is more suitable or more applicable for your research on the basis of which type of research you are doing, what is the nature of your research, or what is the purpose of doing the research. So it may be classified into different types, how you can do this research tools and techniques you can practice. So the first one is observation or participant observation. Second is surveys. Third is interviews. Fourth is focus group interviews. Next is experiments, followed by secondary data analysis or archival studies. And the seventh one is mixed method or a combination of some of the above. So you can basically combine the different methods from 1 to 6, and you can actually create the mixed method. We will see later. Let's try to understand what is observation method or participant observation. So it is used when data can be collected by observing samples. So it's something like this where you are observing the samples, and it is not easy to directly go to these people and collect the data. So you observe them for a period of time. So the time period is also very important, and you can basically record the movements of people. Their responses can also be recorded, their behavior towards certain objects or elements, or maybe some stimulus towards some stimulus or some particular event, which is actually a component of your research. So we have taken one example like observing a group of 100 students for a period of 6 months and recording the behavioral changes when a new subject has been introduced to them. So we are trying to understand what is the reaction of 100 students during a period of 6 months when a new subject has been introduced to them. So you can basically observe them and record what changes are there. Next, you have surveys. So surveys are conducted on certain samples which are there within your research process. So you will use different types of questionnaire with different facts which are to be researched and studied. For example, making an online questionnaire with 12 questions for collecting responses from 100 samples within a period of 2 months. So online surveys, basically it saves you time, cost and efforts for the researchers as well as the sample respondents. So nowadays it's very easy to create research using Google questionnaire. So you can use questionnaires in different forms like open-ended questions and closed-ended questions also. So let's see what are interviews. So interviews are generally conducted when there is a requirement of asking questions directly from a given number of respondents. So Basically, you have a limited number of respondents from whom you can get different responses based on different questions asked by you. So you can take one example like interview patients suffering from certain disease. So the number of patients will be limited. So you basically know that what problems they have suffered, and these are the only people who have suffered from this disease. So it's better to ask them the questions rather than asking everybody who may be thinking about that particular problem. So you can ask questions depending on what type of responses which are received by the interviewer, and you can also see the reaction of the people, facial expressions of the respondents from whom you are asking the questions. Next is focus group. It is the process of taking responses from a limited number of respondents who engage in discussion and is led by the moderator or the researcher. So who basically ensures that respondents do not sway away, or they do not move away to some other things rather than the peripheries of the research components. The boundaries of the research should be concerned. You cannot allow the respondents to move away from the objectives or your research component. That is very important for this particular research process. We can take an example like consumers of fast food discussing on food quality of the branded fast food products such as pizza or burgers or etc. So you allow people to discuss on this particular aspect, and you see what is their response regarding this particular topic or this particular way of consumption. Next is experiment. So this is based on scientific research design principles and must be done according to pre-described rules and regulations. So it is more of a scientific nature. The inputs, process and results can be measured, calculated, and it can be analyzed for drawing inferences for specific results to prove scientific hypothesis. So there are different hypotheses which can be taken, mainly in the form of some mathematical kind of calculations which we have seen here. So like y equals to ax plus by plus c. So you have to prove whether this kind of equalization is there or not, or it is not equal to. So experiments basically prove something or disapprove of something else. Next you have the secondary data analysis. So it is considered to be an analysis of the data which had been collected by someone else for their research. It can be collected from published research journals, magazines, newspaper reports, company reports, etc. So we must always remember to quote and cite the authors whose names and work has been taken within your research report. So sometimes you have to take permission from certain people, and you also have to acknowledge those people from whom you are actually taking some data or some information for your research. Next we have the mixed method. You must be remembering that mixed method is the application of different other methods put together. So there's a general kind of advice that whenever you are taking or using mixed method, a combination of secondary data analysis, so this should actually be there, and then you can take either interviews or surveys or focus groups or experiments. So it should be a combination of both these things. So you have to also keep in mind that secondary data only creates the basis of the research and investigation, while other methods are used to prove the hypothesis of the researcher, who may agree or disagree. So you may be agreeing with one particular research, or you may be disagreeing or disapproving. So this other methods like interviews, surveys, focus group, experiments can actually tell you that whether you agree with the research or not. So this proves your hypothesis which you have already taken for the purpose of research. So let's understand what is hypothesis. So a hypothesis is an assumption that one variable is related to another variable, or there is a kind of interrelationship among two variables. So it basically sees whether there is a relationship between two variables or not. So let's see the different types of hypothesis. The first one is null hypothesis, or H0. So it means basically that there is no relationship between two variables as mentioned by the researcher. Whereas alternate hypothesis, H1, existence of interrelationship between two variables as mentioned by the researcher. So basically you have two variables null hypothesis tells you there is no relationship, and the alternate hypothesis tells you that there is an existence of interrelationship. So these two factors or two hypotheses must be taken at minimum for any research. So an example, as I've already told, so null hypothesis, there is no relationship between sales of the company A and the advertising expenses of the company A. So you are basically trying to see that the sales and advertising expenses, these two factors, sales and advertising expenses of two companies, they are not related to each other, of same company are not related to each other. Whereas alternate hypothesis is just the opposite. So there is a relationship between the sales of the company. So there is a relationship between the sales of the company and the advertising expenses of the company. So you must be keep in mind that after data analysis is completed, either of your null or alternate hypothesis shall be true. So it can be something like this, that null is true and alternate will be false, or the situation can be reversed. So null is false and alternate is considered as true. So data collection. So data collection is necessary during the process of research in almost all stages. So whenever you start research, you start collecting data. So that is very important part of your research process. So what things you do during the beginning of research, primary investigation is conducted using some published data for basically understanding the nature and type of components or ingredients of the topic concerned. So you want to understand two things. You want to understand the nature of the research and the type of component that is to be included within your research. So once the hypothesis has been stated, we normally use survey, interviews or experimental research to critically understand whether null or alternate hypothesis is true. So once hypothesis is taken, you start collecting other part of data which will prove that whether your hypothesis, this part, is proved or disapproved. So you can make different questionnaires, as we have already understood. So different types of questions can be open-ended questions, and you can have closed-ended questions. So in open-ended questions, respondents can answer freely according to his or her own wish of reasoning. Closed-ended questions, the responses are limited. So there are multiple choice questions can be there, such as true or false. So you have the option of either true or false, or it can be something like high, medium or less, or it can be something like very important, important or not important. You can also use Likert scales. We will see the example in the next slide. So an example of the use of Likert scale I have taken from my own research. So I have used, you can see 5-point scale. So very high, neither high or low. So this is a neutral part. And then you have low end and very low end. So you can just see very high, very low. Just opposite, just high and just low, as I have already taken. And this is the neutral part, which is also very important. So you can basically judge from both the ends as well as the neutral part you have also considered. So all these things, 5-point Likert scale can be included. You can also use rank scaling method. So as per your shopping experience, kindly rate the following on a 7-point scale. So generally you can take low to high, like 1 to 7. So if you are rating it at the highest level, you can give it 7. Or let's suppose I assign time saving as the lowest, so I can give it like this here. Similarly, I can put it like here also. So I can keep on changing whatever options I like according to my own wish. I can actually click online, and like this we can actually give this kind of questionnaires or options for our researchers and respondents. So it's easy for the respondents also to put the tick marks or to put the option as per their own thoughts and preferences. Thanks to all for understanding and seeing this very patiently. Hope you have understood this. Thank you to all. Thanks to everyone.